My beloved children, time is running out before you, and I come to bring a message born of love but also of profound care. Something great and demanding is approaching, a trial that humanity has never faced in this way, and the world will know pain and upheaval. The earth will tremble, and many hearts will be tested. I know these words may cause fear, but do not allow despair to find a dwelling place in your souls. I walk with you. I do not take a step without being by your side. This time of tribulation is a call from heaven for you to return sincerely to the heart of my Son, Jesus Christ. In him is the refuge that does not fall, the strength that sustains when everything seems to crumble. When all around there is only confusion, remember, the light of Christ never goes out. It is in living faith that you will find true protection, and it is in hope that you will prepare yourselves for what is to come. As the mother of all humanity, I approach you in these difficult days not only to console but to reveal what needs to be heard. What I give you is not a simple message but a light sent from heaven to guide those who seek the truth, the recent revelations. In Medjugorje, these are not empty words. They are a celestial warning about the times to come. Unite, my children, in prayer and vigilance. Remain steadfast, for it is through faith that you will be guided. I cover with my care the beloved Pope Francis so that he may be strengthened and enlightened to lead the Church in the face of the challenges that arise. Walk with confidence. You are not alone. I guide you. I protect you until the end. Know that in every pain and in every struggle, God, in his infinite mercy, grants the necessary grace to continue. Now is the time to unite hearts, strengthen faith, and surrender yourselves entirely to the Lord to face the trials that come. Make your homes refuges of prayer. Receive the words of heaven like a flame that illuminates the path, revealing faith and love even when darkness tries to steal innocence and distance souls from the sacred calling. Cry out to me, and I will strengthen you to resist the evil that rises. I come to you with an attentive and maternal heart. A great danger approaches humanity, but do not be afraid. I am here to guide and protect. May divine protection envelop your families, driving away all evil. Maintain the have faith in God, for it will be your armor. Pray the Holy Rosary every day, for it unites hearts and brings peace to homes. Seek the Holy Scriptures. In them you will find wisdom and guidance. Bless your homes with holy water, strengthening your bond with the sacred. In times of uncertainty, unite in prayer and fraternity, for the Rosary, the Eucharist, and prayer are powerful shields. Do not let fear paralyze your souls. Allow hope to guide you through the storms. Repent sincerely, reconcile, help one another, especially the most vulnerable. Remember, even in the greatest trials, the light of the Lord never goes out. At the feet of Jesus Christ lies comfort and strength to continue. I did not come to spread fear, but to awaken consciences and strengthen spirits. We live in days when shadows spread and love grows cold, but this is an urgent call to true conversion. Seek refuge in faith, in prayer, and in communion to preserve the essence of faith. Promote love and compassion, for the Rosary and the Eucharist are powerful shields. The Eucharist is a balm from heaven. No, my children, you are not alone. I, your mother, walk with you. I cover you with my mantle and protect you. No evil will prevail if you remain steadfast, trusting in the power of God and preparing yourselves not only with earthly goods but with a vigilant soul. Seek reconciliation, participate in the Eucharist, and persevere in the Holy Rosary. These are the spiritual weapons that will sustain you in the days to come. And my beloved children, receive my words as one who opens the door at dawn and lets the light in without resistance. I come to you as a mother who knows the sorrows of the world and also the cunning of evil that lurks in homes when hearts are distracted. I speak not to confuse or frighten, but to strengthen what has already been planted in you from the beginning. The ability to choose the light even when the night seems long. Many ask why their homes have become heavy, why peace is so easily lost, why arguments, illnesses of the soul, and discouragement find space where joy once reigned. I tell you with tenderness and truth, evil only remains where it finds permission. It does not break down consecrated doors. It does not cross walls erected with living faith. It does not resist where humility reigns. When a home turns away from God, even without realizing it, it opens invisible cracks that little by little become passages. Therefore, I give you means of protection that do not depend on wealth, nor on human power, nor on the recognition of the world. They are means that require constancy, conversion, and inner truth. A protected home is not one that displays outward signs, but one that has decided to belong to God in every daily gesture. When the father chooses justice, when the mother chooses gentleness, when the children learn to respect, there a wall is built that chaos cannot bring down. Even if the winds rise, even if rumors of war, collapses, disasters, and confusion knock at your door, that home that remains faithful will not be taken. Evil may surround, but not dominate. It may threaten, but not possess. It may try, but not remain. I tell you, there are houses that will go through great trials and yet remain standing, because they were not built only on earth, but on trust in God. Watch, my children, not with fear, but with awareness. What you nurture within your home shapes the spiritual environment. Words wound or heal. Silences can protect or destroy. What you witness, what you repeat, what you tolerate shapes the space where your angels can act or where they are prevented from remaining. Do not trivialize small evils, for they grow when ignored. Do not delay conversion, for time is more precious than you imagine. Call upon heaven with simplicity. It is not necessary to shout to be heard. It is enough to speak truthfully. When you ask for protection with a sincere heart, angels stand guard. When you invoke the defense of the Almighty, unseen forces spring into action. Nothing is lost when entrusted to God, and nothing is lost where He is welcomed as Lord. And when you feel the weight approaching, when anguish tries to take hold, withdraw into silence and raise your heart in an ancient supplication, passed down from generation to generation, sustained not by form, but by the faith of those who surrender. Entrust your home, your family, and your life to divine protection. Ask that every shadow be dispelled, that every contrary intention be undone, that every trap lose its power before the light of God. Do this with serene confidence, without despair, certain that heaven does not abandon those who place themselves under its protection. Do not wait for extraordinary signs to change. The greatest sign is this call that now reaches you. I walk with you, I intercede for your homes, and I collect every tear that the world does not see. Stand firm, do not compromise the truth, do not conform to the darkness disguised as normality. Where a home chooses to live in the light, evil loses its way, and even if everything around seems to crumble, peace will remain as a living promise. Many look at the world and see only confusion, violence, loss of meaning, and estrangement from God. But few understand that all this is also a call, a silent invitation to return to the essential. The Father never abandons His children. When evil stirs, it is not because God has absented Himself, but because many have distanced themselves from His voice. The divine call does not always come in gentle words. Sometimes it manifests as restlessness of the soul, as inner emptiness, as a profound weariness of living far from the truth. How many of you feel this and yet try to fill this void with things that do not satisfy? I ask you, listen to what your heart already knows and have faith, my children, not pretending that evil does not exist, but choosing not to belong to it. Faith is not escape, it is a decision. It is about getting up every day and saying, even in silence, I choose God, I choose good, I choose light, even if everything around me tries to convince me otherwise. This is how one responds to the divine call, not with beautiful words, but with a life that seeks the truth. Each of you has been called in a unique way. Do not think that God's call is only for a select few or for great, visible missions. The call lies in daily faithfulness, in inner change, in abandoning sin that has become a habit, in choosing forgiveness when pride demands revenge, in humility when the world teaches arrogance. There are calls that transform multitudes, and there are calls that save an entire family, a home, a soul. None is small in the eyes of heaven. Understand, my children, that evil takes advantage of spiritual distraction. It grows where faith is postponed, where conversion is left for later, where it is believed that there is still time. God's call is always now. Now is the time to return, now is the time to watch, now is the time to decide whom you want to serve. Do not wait for pain to force you to hear what love already whispers to you. I accompany you on this path. I know your weaknesses, your falls, your inner struggles that no one sees. I do not condemn you, but I call you. I do not accuse you, but I awaken you. The Father does not seek perfect hearts. He seeks open hearts. When a heart opens, even wounded, grace enters and begins to transform everything, little by little in silence, like the seed that grows hidden in the earth. Remain steadfast, my children. Do not allow the noise of the world to drown out the voice of God in your lives. Turn away from that which separates you from Him. Draw near to that which strengthens the soul. When you choose faith, even trembling, heaven moves in your favor. When you respond to the divine call, your life finds meaning, and evil loses its power over you. I am with you, interceding, guiding, and sustaining every step of those who decide to say yes to God. Fear not the path, for you do not walk alone. Understand the call, embrace it with humility, and let it transform your life. For whoever answers the Father's call never remains in darkness. My beloved children, draw near to my heart and listen attentively, for I speak as a mother who knows the sorrows of the world and the silent struggles of every soul. The evil that rises today did not arise suddenly. It grew in indifference, in the loss of the sacred, in the forgetting of God. Many walk without direction, believing that everything ends here, and therefore emptiness spreads, violence increases, and hope weakens. But I tell you with tenderness and truth, none of this happens without heaven first allowing a call. This is the time to understand, my children. God calls each of you not to condemn you, but to redeem you. The divine call is not a burden. It is a grace. It manifests itself when the soul is no longer satisfied with what once seemed sufficient, when the heart feels that something needs to change, when the conscience awakens and no longer accepts living in falsehood. Many feel this calling and try to silence it, because change requires renunciation, courage, leaving behind paths that seem easy but lead to darkness. In the face of evil, faith becomes a daily decision. Do not think that faith is merely a feeling, for feeling passes. True faith remains even when everything seems contrary. It is trusting when you cannot see. It is remaining when many give up. It is choosing good when evil seems to dominate. The world teaches to react with hatred, but God calls to respond with firmness and love. The world teaches to save one's own life at any cost, but God calls to save the soul. Understand, my children, that each life has a purpose, and none of you are here by chance. God's calling is not the same for everyone, but all are called. Some are called to sustain faith within the home, others to be a light at work, others to intercede in silence, others to guide, to care, to console. There are calls that are seen and there are calls that remain hidden, but all are precious in the eyes of the Father. When you refuse your calling, something becomes disorganized within you. When you accept it, even with fear, peace begins to be born. Evil fears awaken souls. He thrives on distraction, complacency, and the false idea that everything can be postponed. How many say, "I'll change tomorrow. I'll return to God later." Now is not the time. My children, time does not belong to man. Today is the gift that has been given to you. God's call echoes in the present, and each time it is ignored, the heart hardens a little more. Do not allow this to happen to you. I know that many of you are tired of fighting, tired of falling, tired of trying to be faithful in a world that mocks faith. But it is precisely your perseverance that sustains what you do not yet see. There are battles that are not won with human strength, but with spiritual constancy. When you choose to remain in God, even wounded, even imperfect, heaven acts in ways that escape human understanding. Accept the call with humility. Do not wait to be ready to respond, for no one is ever fully ready. God does not call the capable. He empowers those who allow themselves to be called. Take a step, even a small one. Abandon that which you know distances you from the light. Begin again as many times as necessary. The Father rejoices more in one heart that returns than in many that never strayed. I walk with you, my children. I do not leave you alone on the journey. I intercede for those who have already understood the call and also for those who still resist it. My desire is to lead you to God, the source of all life, all truth, and all peace. Do not fear what is to come. Fear only living without meaning, without faith, without love. The home of each child is precious in my eyes, because it is there that life is formed, that souls are strengthened or weakened, that faith is cultivated or forgotten. Many desire protection, but few understand that it is born first from trust. Where there is true trust, there I can remain as mother and guard every visible and invisible door. To protect your homes, my children, it is necessary to trust. Not a superficial trust, made only of words, but a sincere surrender that acknowledges its own fragility and abandons itself to the care of heaven. When you entrust your home, your family, and your worries to me, do not do so with fear, but with faith. Fear opens breaches. Faith closes paths to evil. A home that trusts does not despair in the face of difficulties, for it knows it is not alone. No evil enters where light is welcomed, but this light needs to be kept alive. How many homes weaken because faith has been set aside, because dialogue has been replaced by arguments, because love has been exchanged for indifference. I call you to restore what has been wounded. A protected home is a home that seeks peace, that chooses forgiveness, that does not nurture hatred or division. Even if the world around becomes confusing, this home will remain firm. Trust in me as a mother who intercedes. I do not take the place of God, but I always lead you to Him. Everything I do is to bring you closer to my Son, Jesus Christ. It is in Him that you find true strength. It is in Him that you become firm when you are tested. Without Jesus, faith becomes fragile. With Him, even the most weary hearts find rest and courage to continue. Have faith, my children, not only in tranquil days, but especially when storms arise. Faith is not the absence of struggle, it is the presence of God in the struggle. When you choose to remain steadfast in Jesus Christ, even when everything seems contrary, evil loses its authority over you. It may try, confuse, unsettle, but it cannot dominate those who place themselves under the protection of heaven. Teach your homes to trust. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let there be respect, truth, and simplicity. Let the name of Jesus be honored not only on your lips, but in your daily choices. Where He is welcomed as Lord, no darkness lasts long. I walk with you, my children. I guard your homes when you give me space to enter. I cover you with my maternal care when you surrender yourselves with humility. Stand firm, do not waver, do not compromise your faith. Trust in me, remain in Jesus Christ, and even if trials arise, your home will remain standing, sustained by faith, protected by heaven, and strengthened in love. Your homes are not just walls and roofs. They bear the mark of what is lived within them. Where there is love, the home is strengthened. Where there is forgiveness, the home is healed. Where there is faith, the home becomes a refuge. But where trust is lost, the heart closes and evil finds breaches. Do not allow, my children, the haste of the world to steal from you the care for what is sacred. The home is the first place where God desires to dwell. Trust in me as a mother who intercedes and guards. When you entrust your homes to me, do not do so only in moments of affliction, but also in simple routines, in ordinary days, in small decisions. It is in constancy that protection is strengthened. I walk through your homes when you are humble, when you recognize that you are alone, you are fragile, and in need of heaven's help. Where there is humility, grace finds room to act. Many desire protection, but continue to nurture divisions, resentments, and harsh words within their homes. My children, understand. There can be no peace where conflict is chosen, nor protection where inner disorder is cultivated. Evil does not enter all at once. It infiltrates when faith is neglected, when love grows cold, when respect is set aside. Therefore, I ask you for vigilance, not vigilance of fear, but of conscience. Take care of what you allow to enter your homes and your hearts. Have faith to be strong. The strength I ask of you is not the strength of pride, but the strength of perseverance. To be strong is to remain faithful when it would be easier to give up. To be firm is to continue trusting in Jesus Christ even when the answers do not arrive in the time you desire. My son is the foundation that sustains everything. Without him, the home falters. With him, even shaken by storms, you remain standing. Remain steadfast in Jesus Christ, my children. He is the truth that illuminates, the love that restores, the peace that the world cannot give. When you place him at the center of your home, everything finds order. Difficulties do not disappear, but they are faced with hope. Pains do not vanish, but they do not dominate. Trials do not prevail because faith sustains. I ask you not to lose heart. I know that many carry heavy burdens, great responsibilities, old wounds. I know that some have already lost hope of seeing their home transformed. But I tell you, no home is lost when there is at least one heart willing to trust. A single flame of faith can illuminate an entire house. A single gesture of love can begin the healing of generations. Surrender your homes to me with simplicity. Call upon me as mother, not with formality, but with filial trust. I listen when no one else listens. I intercede when you no longer know what to ask. I present each home to the heart of God and ask that the protection of heaven remain day and night. Wherever I am welcomed, I always lead to Jesus, because it is in him that protection is complete. Do not fear what happens outside when the inside is guarded. The world may be confused, times may be difficult, but a home founded on faith will not be overcome. Remain united, persevering, confident. Strengthen yourselves in Jesus Christ. Let yourselves be guided by me, and even if storms arise, your homes will remain a safe haven, sustained by faith, enveloped by grace, and protected by God's love. Pray, my children, not as those who repeat words out of habit, but as those who open their hearts and place themselves before God with humility. Prayer is the refuge of the soul when the world is in turmoil. It is the silent bridge that connects human frailty to the strength of heaven. When you pray sincerely, something invisible moves, and that which you do not see begins to act in your favor. I ask you to pray that my angels may walk with you and guard your homes, your families, and your paths. There are battles that are not won with human words, nor with the strength of the world, but with the protection that comes from above. The angels are not distant or indifferent. They await your call. They await your trust. They await your heart to turn again to God. Where there is prayer, they remain. Where there is faith, they act. Evil approaches when hearts are distracted, when faith grows cold, when the soul ceases to seek divine grace. I do not say this to cause you fear, but to awaken you. He who watches in prayer is not surprised. He who trusts does not despair. Even when the shadows seem to grow, the light of God is always greater and never goes out in the life of him who seeks it. Have faith, my children, even when you do not understand everything. Faith does not require understanding every step, but trusting in him who guides the way. Many want visible signs, immediate answers, quick solutions, but God also works in silence, in waiting, in perseverance. When you seek divine grace sincerely, it reaches you and begins to transform what seemed impossible. Seek grace in your lives with simple and true attitudes. Seek it in the forgiveness that liberates, in the humility that heals, in the daily choice for good, even when evil seems easier. The grace of God is not distant. It pours over the hearts that recognize their need. The more you place yourselves before God with simplicity, the more he envelopes you with his protection. Do not neglect prayer, my children. It sustains when strength fails, illuminates when confusion sets in, strengthens when hope falters. Pray for yourselves. Pray for your homes. Pray for those who no longer know how to pray. Every sincere prayer is like a light lit in the darkness, and no light offered to God is wasted. I walk with you, I intercede for you, and I present each request to the heart of the Father. Trust, pray, seek divine grace. Where there is living faith, my angels remain in protection. And even in the face of evil that tries to approach, the soul that trusts in God will never be forsaken. I am with you, my children, always leading you closer to the light, peace, and love that come from God. There is an evil that approaches silently when souls are distracted, when faith is treated as something secondary, when God is left for later. This evil does not announce itself with noise. It enters through negligence, indifference, and the loss of the sacred in daily life. That is why I call you insistently. Pray. Prayer awakens the soul, strengthens the spirit, and closes the doors through which darkness tries to pass. When you pray sincerely, my children, my angels are sent to protect you. They walk beside you, guard your steps, watch over your homes, and sustain your hearts in times of trial. Many do not see them, but they feel their presence when peace arises without explanation, when danger is averted, when strength returns amidst weariness. Where there is prayer, there is the presence of heaven. Where there is faith, there is defense. Do not think that prayer needs to be perfect or long to be heard. God hears the simple cry, the silent request, the tear offered with trust. What he desires is a heart that truly seeks him. How many pray only with their lips, but more they keep their hearts closed? I ask you, pray with your lives, pray with your choices, pray with daily faithfulness to good. Have faith, my children, even when the world tries to convince you that trusting is weakness. Faith is silent strength. It is a deep root that sustains the tree when the winds are strong. Without faith, prayer becomes empty. With faith, it transforms into a shield. It is faith that allows divine grace to act. It is faith that opens space for God to intervene where all seems lost. Seek divine grace in your lives with humility.